Okay, let's just talk.
Okay, so Les Schwab, honey. You call it Les Schwab.
Oui,
It's actually Les Schwab, named after the guy who started it.
les Schwab.
Les Schwab. But you, for 38 years of your life, thought it was a French tire manufacturer.
Yeah, it's the Mandela effect. That's
Mm.
what's happening.
Les Schwab, but now I call it Les Schwab. We call it Les Schwab. Les Schwab. I like them because it's named after a guy. Like you put your name on it, and I feel like I can trust you more instead of America's Tire Company. Like, what the hell does that mean? It's completely meaningless. I used to have a Les Schwab. Did I say less or late? I used to have a Les Schwab by where I lived in Citrus Heights, so I use them whenever I need them. And they were a fine tire service center. But one thing that always I just found bizarre and fascinating and odd, they offer fresh popcorn. Like they have an old fashioned popcorn machine that I used to operate actually when I worked at a video store way back when I was a young man. Um, but they have fresh popcorn, and it's in a popcorn machine. It's like the movies, that kind of popcorn, and it's ready. I don't think they're popping it all day, but when it's empty, they pop a new batch, and it was always a good time. Like you go to freaking Jiffy Lube, and they ain't offering no popcorn. Uh, but then the COVID hit, honey. The pandemic, am I right? But they took the great things away from us, like Baskin Robbins. You couldn't do samples no more.
Hmm.
That's when you know shit got real.
Jiffy Lube still doesn't have their coffee back.
Yeah. Lots of places don't have coffee. Some places I go to, they're freaking drinking fountains like have a Ziploc bag over it, or they'll say broken, but they work because I press on it and the water comes out. But anyways, uh,
Trader Joe's never brought back their food
oh, right,
samples. That is the tragedy
right. It's
of the century.
the whole thing was just ridiculous. They made us walk the same way in grocery store aisles, and we had to put on masks to walk into restaurants, and then walk to our table 15 feet and then take off the masks. But anyways, uh, so uh, Le Schwab took away popcorn 3-ish years ago. And it was always sad because they didn't take away the popcorn machine. It would sit there in the corner, sad, moribund, if you will, decrepit, unused, unwashed. Give me your unhuddled, unwashed masses of popcorn machines. But we took your car into Le Schwab on yesterday. And lo and behold, the heavens opened up, and the popcorn machine was lit up, and there was fresh popcorn
It
there.
was full to the brim of orange, buttery, warm popcorn.
And yeah, it was 8:30 in the morning, but I said, Brie, I'm gonna have me some fresh hot popcorn, and I'm gonna have me some black coffee.
You made a beeline for the corner, and I
Yeah,
didn't see you again.
yeah. And I would have gotten cream, but they only have the powder cream. All right. That's not a COVID thing. That's just a cheap AF thing. But I grabbed me a bag of popcorn, and I got me some coffee, and I had a grand old time. You had some of it, honey.
Yeah, I wanted to taste it because you were so excited. I figured it must be really
Yeah.
good.
Well, it's the little things, darling. But what did you think, honey? Thoughts, feelings, comments, reflections on fresh popcorn that Gavin Newsom took away from us for 3 years?
It was very good.
It was good.
It surprised me with its quality.
It's essentially movie theater popcorn. The only thing that's missing is the butter.
It is buttery, but it doesn't have the fresh liquid
Yeah,
butter.
yeah. That you just self-serve and you squirt, squirt. But that was a grand old time. I love popcorn. I'm a popcorn fiend. Le Schwab popcorn, super bussin'. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend. And then we went to Grocery Outlet Bargain Market. and our favorite cashier, Carla. And so the hurricane is happening, or whatever it is, tropical storm downgraded, keeps getting downgraded, whatever. But Carla starts talking about people who are affected. And what'd she say, honey?
Well, she said she still hasn't heard from her ex who is in Maui,
Yeah,
and she's trying to get a hold of him, and it's been a few weeks,
yeah,
and she doesn't know if he's okay.
yeah,
She's very concerned.
yeah. How about moving on, Carla? Maybe her ex is like, I can finally disappear off the face of the planet. She could stop bugging me.
Well, she did at one point mention him and his wife, and I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
Carla.
yeah.
It's time to move on.
Move on, girl. Maybe he faked his death.
Find someone on the mainland.
Yeah, yeah. And then I walked to Walmart. I didn't walk to Walmart. We went to Walmart, but I walked in because I had to return some air filters, and they were the wrong size. I had opened them, and I was just completely absent-minded. Bought them and opened them, and I was like, immediately I realized they were wrong. So I'm walking into Walmart with my air filters, package open, and the greeter there, who I do not envy his job. You're a Walmart greeter. You see the worst of humanity. It's like being a cop, really. You see the scourge of humanity. But I walk in and walk right by him, and he said, "Hey, you doing a return?" No. I just shoplifted these air filters. I unpackaged them. I realized they were the wrong size. Now I'm bringing them back, and I will be smashing and grabbing more air filters, the correct size this time, sir. Yes, I'm doing returns. So Saturday morning comes and Frankie's meowing. He's hungry as usual. And I do fresh water once a day. Food is food. Give him a scoop of food. But I try to remember to give him fresh water every day. So grab his water bowl, which was my first mistake. I should have given him his food first. Give him his food first, and he's occupied. He has something to do, and he ignores you. But I go for the water bowl first, fill it up, and as I'm returning it to his water bowl holder area, he lunges at me head first.
He's thirsty.
He jumps right into my hand, which is carrying the water bowl. Water spills everywhere in the kitchen. I curse.
You yell the F word.
You were right there. But I apologize immediately.
You did, yeah.
But it's just,
Well, honey,
you know.
you gotta do the right moves when you're feeding or giving water to Frankie.
Yeah.
You're putting the bowl down with one hand. You gotta block him with your other hand.
I know.
You don't have that maneuver down yet?
Well, oftentimes I'll like kind of, I don't want to say kick him. I'm not David Beckham. I'm not Maradona over here. I'm not Lionel Messi. But I will kind of lead him with my foot away from the food bowl as I put the food bowl into the rubber holder. And it was early in the morning. I didn't think you would lunch me for water. Food, I get excited about food too, Frankie, but water everywhere. I said the F word. I'm sorry, Liz Fisher. I had to clean it up. It was just a mess.
You scared Frankie. He ran away.
Yeah.
And then he sat in the corner and stared at you
Yeah.
for 10 minutes.
Yeah. And just like whenever you have a pet, whatever you're feeling, whatever you think they're feeling. Like you can put whatever emotion you want onto them. And I said, he's feeling guilty. Look at him. He's feeling guilty. And lo and behold,
he did look guilty.
He did look like he was feeling guilty.
He knew he was a bad boy.
Bad boy. The worstest boy. So we went to the gym yesterday, and then there was a gal in there before us, and she committed gym etiquette mayhem, honey. What happened?
Oh, so much. You and I started working out, and she comes up to the weight rack and grabs 2 sets of weights. She grabbed the 5 pounds and the 10 pounds.
No.
And then she kept them both, and she was doing alternate exercises, which I understand.
Yeah.
But you can't do that when there's other people in the gym.
Yeah.
You got to only take one pair at a time.
Yeah. Frankie's a bad boy. She's a bad girl. Yeah. Like when the gym's completely empty. Do whatever you want. Live your life. You do you, boo-boo. You go crazy. But the second someone else walks in, dude, you got to be mindful. You got to be courteous. And
She was
grabbing...
also taking up like the whole center of the gym. You and
Yeah,
I were
yeah,
squished to the sides
yeah.
trying to do our little
I know.
workouts.
Like we were in each other's way to accommodate this lady. And yeah, you do whatever you want when you're by yourself, but when someone comes in, you gotta change up your style. Um, but yeah, she was annoying. All right, so let's get to what's really important, honey. What we ate this weekend, as I mentioned, we ate popcorn and coffee at the tire store, and and then so Thursday or Friday, you were like, "I'm cooking this weekend."
I've been wanting to cook for us lately. I've been looking at recipes on my phone,
Yeah,
and I've been just saving things here and there because we've been really on track,
yeah,
aside from our vacation to New
right.
York.
Well, that's why we were on track.
Yeah. Um, so I was like, I'm cooking us something cheesy and carb laden, and I want to bake us a cake or some sort of sweet dessert.
Mm-hmm. And you made chicken pesto lasagna. It was very controversial. Pulled chicken or ground chicken. I like the idea of ground chicken. I just don't like. I don't like pulled pork,
Uh,
pulled chicken, pulled beef.
in certain recipes, you get like a rotisserie chicken and you just rip it to shreds, and
Yeah,
that's really the best way to go. But you actually wanted sausage.
yeah.
We compromised
I
on
always want
ground
I always
chicken.
want sausage.
I'm not a sausage and pesto combination person. That's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
good to me.
It's a bit much. But overall, it was good.
Yeah.
We'll talk about how much cheese the recipe called for, and then how much cheese you actually applied to the
The recipe
product.
the recipe just called for half a container of ricotta.
Uh,
But I was like, no, I'm using the whole container of ricotta because
yeah,
if we don't use it all, it's just going to sit in our fridge.
yeah,
We're not going to do anything else with it. It's
yeah,
going to go bad. So once I decided I'm using the entire tub of ricotta, I decided to use the entire everything else that was that was going to get added.
yeah.
The whole bag of shredded mozzarella, the whole bag of the Parmesan.
But
I
you
just throw everything in there.
but you didn't double the lasagna, the
Well,
actual pasta, right?
um, I used all the pasta that we had,
Yeah.
and it filled the container.
Mm.
There was only one. I didn't multiply the amount of the meat. That's why there's very little chicken. But you know what? It was good.
It was good. It was a ton of cheese. It was overwhelmingly cheesy. Like it came out of the oven, and there was nowhere for the cheese to go, so it just started like bleeding out on the sides,
It was
on the edges.
nauseatingly decadent.
It was cheese on cheese violence. Who's gonna build the cheese wall? Mexico. It was very cheesy, but it was good. Better the second day.
Oh yeah, it's been marinating overnight in our fridge, and
Marinating.
we finished up the leftovers today. It's so good.
Yeah, super good. You made garlic bread to go along with it, and Lennox quickly proclaimed that Grandma Bev's garlic bread is better. And why is this garlic bread orange? And why is this Parmesan cheese here? And well, a litany of complaints, if you will. And then we had Trader Joe's naan,
Yeah.
which you bought a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
My hairdresser gave me a piece of naan bread in the salon while the color was setting on my head.
Yeah.
And I promptly went across the street afterwards and bought us a package. It's frozen naan.
Yeah.
I'm always wary of frozen breads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never a good option.
It always turns out bad. Yeah.
But this frozen naan from Trader Joe's, excellent.
Yeah.
You just bake it for a few minutes and it's great.
Yeah. And when you were at your hairdresser's, you just put butter on it, right?
I just had it
put butter on
plain,
it?
but she was telling me she prefers to just have it with butter.
Right. Because I've seen the naan for many a decade, but I'm always scared. Yeah, it's frozen, and then I'm like, what am I going to do with it? But simple couple dollops of cold whipped butter on the TJ's naan is good.
So good.
It was bussin'. Could have kicked up the garlic a little bit. Like when we had Kebab Corner, the naan over there, that garlic was just out of control. There was a lot of it, and you could see it, and it was fresh. It was good. But Trader Joe's naan was. This was our breakfast. And then finally, for dessert, honey, you made. Well, tell the folks what you made.
I made an apple blueberry crumble.
Yeah.
Which was so good.
Super good.
I think you proclaimed it's the best thing I've ever made.
It was excellent, yes.
It was super easy,
I was in the moment. Well, I was like, I don't have a hard drive or a Rolodex of the top 5 things. I mean, I can think of some really good stuff. When you made cheese dip with chorizo and then you put fresh tomatoes on top and we just ate it with chips, that was super good.
Cut that out.
And oop.
So this came to be because when your mom and dad were here taking care of the kids when we were in New York, your mom bought a bunch of apples.
Yes.
And we're not really an apple family, so they sat around for a few days, and you found this crumble. You've made crumble for me before.
Yeah, that's a dessert you love, isn't it?
Yeah, I love the crunch. I love the OT-ness of it all. So we had a bunch of apples, then you threw blueberries in there, and then you said this time it was easier, right, than the previous crumble?
Yeah.
Report.
It was really easy. The hardest part was slicing up the apples, but that only took a few minutes.
And then we had vanilla ice cream with it.
Oh, warm crumble with vanilla ice cream.
Oh my gosh, it was so flippin' good. Is it possible to make a non-fruit crumble, just all crumble, all OT goodness?
Yes, actually, that would be really good just as an ice cream topper.
A girl can dream. Alrighty, well, I think we're done, honey. Is there anything else, honey?
No, honey.
Okay, honey. Bye-bye.